Welcome to the Fiction Kitchen, where we cook up all kinds of pop culture media into meals. I'm Chef DM, and today we're going to take a crack at cooking one of my favourite dishes, the classic fantasy adventure TV show, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, like most fantasies, to start off, we're going to need a world-building base. For avatars, you're going to want to mix several cups of inspiration. Specifically, 4 cups of East Asian, 3 cups of South Asian, and 2 cups of indigenous. From there, you'll need to add another staple of this kind of dish: magic. It's the elemental kind, so make sure to add all 4 elements, and don't skimp on the mysticism. This dish has the kind of magic that thrives on spirituality. To give the world building a little extra kick of flavour, mix in a dash of fantastical fauna and a teaspoon of steampunk. Trust me, it ties the taste into a neat little bow that makes every other flavour pop. Now that we've got the base out of the way, we can focus on the main ingredients. On paper, Avatar is a pretty simple dish to make, but when it comes to execution, it's a little more complicated. Now remember, these are grade A, top shelf, absolutely premium ingredients. For some dishes, store-bought is fine, but in this case, you want the cream of the crop. First, you want to get about half a cup of Chosen One, mixed with 2 tablespoons of Goofball, a tablespoon of Pacifist, and a teaspoon of Trauma. Now remember to make sure you keep your Trauma on hand. Trust me when I say you're going to be needing it often. Next, we need about 3/4 of a cup of Maternal Instinct with a dash of Heart. Oh, and be sure to add a healthy helping of Trauma too. After that, we got to get ourselves a cup of Smarts. Mix that up with some solid Sarcasm until it's fully dissolved and we're good to go. For the next part of the dish, we're going to need a lot of badass, and I mean a lot. Now we have to be careful, too much will utterly ruin the dish. Make sure to top it off with some Trauma to keep the badass from overpowering the flavour. Now you've probably been wondering why you've got that big old bottle of black liquid sitting on your counter. Well, the answer is that just so happens to be the primary ingredient for the next part of the dish: angst. Now on its own, angst is bitter and foul tasting, but there is a way to make it taste better. The secret ingredient? Trauma! Make sure to empty about half a cup of the stuff in with the angst, and add a 1/4 cup of redemption to finish it up. Now we've come to quite possibly my favourite ingredient in this dish. It's one I enjoy in many others, but few have succeeded in emulating the quality of the taste Avatar delivers. This is an aged mentor, its ruggedness smoothed by time to create a soft, silky texture. Add 2 cups of it along with a dash of wisdom and wistfulness. Now remember, this ingredient is of the utmost importance. Without it, the angst will stay bitter no matter how much Trauma you add to it. Next, we need to get ourselves a big bad. Now most fantasy dishes with a world-building base have a big bad. For Avatar, you're going to want to prepare one separately. Leave it to simmer until the dish is almost complete, then turn the heat up to full. Now usually you don't want to overcook your big bad, but in some cases, it works. In Avatars, it works because of the slightly smaller bad, or dragon if you want to be fancy, that we'll be mixing in with the other ingredients. Now using a mixture of royalty, cunning and ruthlessness, I've pre-prepared a dragon, which we can finally add to the pot now that all the other ingredients have gotten to know each other. Alrighty folks, all that's left now is preparation. Before we put everything in the oven, just make sure to add a scooch more Trauma. Oh, and we can't forget my favourite flavour enhancer, OST. It's not a necessity for everyone, but personally, I'm a fiend for the stuff. Once everything is all mixed together, put the whole thing in the oven at 180 degrees for about an hour, or 61 minutes if you want to be exact. Then take it out, plate it up, and enjoy. Now remember, the best part about Avatar is that it can be eaten hot, cold, or in a pot 9 years old, because no matter when you choose to experience it, it'll always be delicious.